Adam and Eve sinned in this perfect world. They had this beautiful relationship with God, and they sinned, and their sin came between them and God. This perfectly holy God, and sin radiates and starts to contaminate the entire world. And because of this, they're separated from God, and God wants to show how big that gap is. And so you know what he does? He starts a religion for them. He says, here's a way to illustrate the distance between you and me. And he creates this idea of a tabernacle and then later a temple with sacrifices and all kinds of rules and laws to illustrate that he is holy and we are not, that there's distance between us. And now there's all kinds of things that have to happen. There's a huge journey. The distance between me and heaven, and with hell in between, is a massive journey. It's the greatest, deepest, darkest valley anyone can ever travel. So he's illustrating this with this temple system and all the blood and the sacrifices, just to show how serious all of this is. And the interesting thing is that the temple was broken into sections. Some of you know this, right? And so in the outer section, only Jews could come in, and then only the priest could come into the holy place, and then only the high priest could go into the Holy of Holies, and only once a year, and only with the right sacrifices, and if they messed it up, boom, the guy could be struck dead in the Holy of Holies, but no one else can go in to get his body, so they would tie a cord to his ankle so that if he got killed in the Holy of Holies with this unfiltered presence of God, they could drag the poor guy out and bury him proper instead of letting him rot in there. But I want to show you something about that picture. Sometimes Christians get this totally backwards. They say God is a holy God and he can't handle sin. Oh, he can handle sin. We can't handle him. So when the sinner walks into this Holy of Holies, God doesn't die. Oh, it's a sinner. You cooties. Get back, I tell you. It's like, I wouldn't come in here if I were you, because the sinner can't handle God. That's the issue. So here's what happens. Jesus is the Son of God, thousands of years later, is sent into this world to become the ultimate high priest. And he comes into this kind of like the spiritual version of this temple, and he sacrifices something on the altar. What is it? Himself. His own blood to pay the price, to cleanse us from all unrighteousness, to put us into a right relationship with God, not so he can handle us, so we can handle him. And then he walks right in, and remember when Jesus died, what did he do? What happened at the moment of his death? Boom, the temple, the curtain in the temple separating us from the Holy of Holies, protecting us from the presence of God, is torn from top to bottom so we have full access. Full access. Why would Jesus do that? That's dangerous because we can't handle it. Except now, through Jesus, we can. Woo! Exactly. I have no falsetto. It's like, woo!